Central Bank of Nigeria earlier in the year announced new measures to support the revival of the textile sector with a potential market size of over 10 billion naira annually. Central Bank of Nigeria's Governor Godwin Emefiele says identified key steps to be taken to revive the sector, to include financial support to textile manufacturers with the support of funds at single-digit rates, upgrade their factories in order to produce high-quality textile materials for the local export markets, placing the access to FX for all forms of textile materials on the FX restriction list, support the importation of cotton lint for the use in textile factories with a caveat that such importers shall be sourcing all their cottons needed locally beginning from the year 2020. And as part of its Anchor Borers program, the CBN will support local growers of cotton to enable them meet the needs of the textile industry in Nigeria. The CBN shall also support efforts to source high-yield cotton seedlings so as to ensure the yields from our cotton farmers meet global benchmarks. In the 1970s and early 1980s, Nigeria was home to Africa's largest textile industry, with over 180 textile mills in operations, which employed close to over 450,000 people. The textile industry at that time was the largest employer of labor in Nigeria after the public sector, contributing over 25% of the workforce in the manufacturing sector. This industry was supported by the production of cotton by 600,000 local farmers across 30 states. That's 30 of Nigeria's 36 states. Today, Nigeria currently spends about $4 billion annually on imported textiles and ready-made clothing, with a projected population of over 180 million people. The needs of the domestic market are huge and varied, with immense prospects not only for job creation, but also for growth of the domestic textile industry. Well, I have with me in the studio the right person to talk about this, the Director General, Textile Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Hamam Kojafa. Thank you very much for joining us on the show.
Thank you very much.
I noticed that when I was reading out those figures, you were actually nodding. Tell us, how was it before? Now, briefly, let's quickly look at it before we move further to what we have at the moment.
Yes. In the past, Nigerian textiles employed up to 450,000 workers, with about 167 textile mills running. But in one fell swoop, in the 90s, 2000, they started closing, shrinking because of incompetitiveness. The textile could not compete with the goods that were coming in, and they could not export. Because of poor infrastructure, majorly. The infrastructure had to do with majorly power. If there is no power, there's no way you can compete. And it must be at the right price. For instance, even in Africa, we cannot compete because Ethiopia, Egypt, South Africa were selling power at 4 cents per kilowatt hour, while in Nigeria it was more than 20 cents per kilowatt hour. So there alone, we could not compete, because once a businessman goes out to sell, he wants to break even, make a little profit. But then we found out smugglers are making the money more than the manufacturers. Smugglers who come in, they don't pay tax, they don't pay levies at ports, and they're just bringing things. And people wear them because they are cheaper. At 1,000 naira, go to Oshodi market or Alamutu or any of these Balogo markets, you buy it at 1,000. So people felt it's cheaper to buy, but they wash away, and they blame it on Nigerian textile, which is wrong, because those ones were just manufactured, counterfeited quickly for sale in Nigerian markets, and that's what they use. If we had the same infrastructure, the smugglers will not have any market, because we'll be able to sell at their price, and we could also export. So those were the key challenges that made the textile to close down in drops. To today, we only have, say, 24 textile mills with only 20,000 workers. When you compare it, you see that it's a big loss. And that's why we have great unemployment issue in Nigeria. People are not employed because the factories are no longer working. They have moved to other, even our neighbors, Ghana and whatever, where they have good enabling environment. But we thank God, government is coming in, trying to look at ease of doing business and see how we can have a break-even infrastructure and be able to sell in foreign markets. Ethiopia sells in Europe. They don't even have to sell in Ethiopia, Addis Ababa. It could sell in Europe because they have the same enabling environment and they could have the same prices. If the same quality is there, you can sell anywhere. So this is what we look for. If we have this, we have achieved the same quality now. We have quality. But now it is the overhead cost that makes it higher and makes it difficult for us to sell in other markets. And we couldn't even benefit from AGOA, which other African countries benefited immensely. The GDP rose very high in South Africa, East Africa, and even North Africa.
Now, in all of this, I think to be impressed now, because part of the diversification agenda of this government is to look inwards and build, what we can produce. We should stop importing then and save foreign exchange.
Correct.
Now, Godwin Emefiele has been noted for doing that on conventional policies. Now, creating financial supports to textile industry, reviving these industries, upgrading factories and all of that. Tell us what you think about all of this process and how feasible is all of this in a short time.
I think the move by the CBN governor is an excellent one, and we commend him for doing that, and we congratulate him on his second term, actually. At least we will be having 5 years. Last time we were talking with him, he was saying at least there's something you could do within 3 months. But as God will have it, he has now become governor for another 5 years. So we agree with what he's saying in total, and we rely on him. We have confidence in what he can do. And they have already earmarked in the first tranche that 20 textiles will be revived by December. And this is a welcome development. Let's have something on first term, second term, short-term loan, short-term, mid-term, and long-term. So in the short term, he has agreed to revive 20 textiles. What's better than that? So this is something that welcome to all the industry players, and then he has started with cotton already, and we have seen what he's doing. The problem with us is that graduates can work when cotton farming is mechanized. Graduates don't have to work only in offices. If it's mechanized, they can run you see all of them running mobile phones now and anything technology. So if the farming is mechanized, like in other countries, graduates can work on mechanized farming. They can buy their tractors easily and put it in front of their houses instead of cutlasses and hoe, which bending for 8 hours will become a problem. So now many countries have progressed. They are into mechanized farming. Even Ethiopia has aerial spray on the cotton. You don't need to spray with your hands. There's aerial spray, they spray with helicopter and all the cotton field. And it clears all the rodents. But here when you manually spray, it affects your health. You become unproductive and all this kind of thing. It affects our farmers. They die easily. And then that's why many of them have run away from cotton production. So if there's mechanized way of doing farming, it's a welcome idea, and our graduates will be employed in that sector. So the whole value chain will now come back into full swing. And then it will revive itself in the 80s and the 90s. And people will gainfully be employed. And Nigeria will not be suffering, will not be talking about unemployment again. You know, in India, you must have a business plan before you get a job, before you graduate, not just a final year project. You have a business plan on what you do.
I think Nigeria
so those things are very good. Those things looking forward is going to be great for us, and we will employ largely, and the sector will come back. Because go to universities now, there are departments of textiles. People don't apply because there's no job. So the department is now redundant. Departments in the ABU, Ahmadu Bello University, Kaduna Polytechnic, all those departments are now redundant because nobody applies to those departments because they know there will be no jobs.
Finally, one word as we round up this policy somersault. We pray that's something that is very important. What do you foresee in sustaining all of these policies as we round this up?
Yes, actually, policy somersault has to do with how to even gain the finance. But the finance itself has come to us, say that they will do it. CBN wants to do it directly. Great. So they don't need to apply anywhere to look for fund and anything. They will hit the nail by the head. So when they say they will do something, we agree with them, and we welcome them wholeheartedly, and hope that this will continue to be sustained. And if we don't even hope, we agree that it will work because the CBN governor has been confirmed for the second term. And then that's welcome development for us. Yes.
Director General, Textile Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Ahmed Kwajafa, thank you very much for being able to join us on the show today, talk about this very important topic.
Thank you, Mr. Tolu.
Yes.